What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, it has begun. As undefeated three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO, World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the number one best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Crawford is 39 wins, no losses, no draw. 30 big wins by way of knockout, 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. He now calls out his biggest rival, the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, between himself and undefeated, unified, three-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top two, if not number one, definitely top three best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and Errol the True Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is 28 wins, no losses, no draws, 22 big wins by way of knockout, 32 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. With that said, they were in negotiations to stage a massive undisputed welterweight showdown for history and legacy. There's never been a four major sanctioned belt welterweight undisputed champion in the history of the sport of boxing, so the winner will be the first. Okay. With that said, they were in negotiations, okay, and the negotiations fell through. Terence Crawford, he ended up coming to BLK Prime, fighting welterweight Armenian Russian star boxer in David Avanesian. That was December 10th. He brutally knocked out David Avanesian in the sixth round of their fight in his hometown, Omaha, Nebraska. Errol Spence, he stated it was unfortunate that this fight didn't pan out, and that he was hoping to spin the block. They went back and forth on Twitter. Well, now the fight is over, and the reports that Errol Spence, he came out and he stated that he's going to have a fight coming up in May or June, but it's not going to be against Terence Bud Crawford. So Terence Crawford, he now took to social media and he added Errol Spence. He calls out Errol Spence and he says, listen, I'm ready when you are for you to spin the block now. Let's make it happen, right? So Terence Crawford is calling him out and he's saying, I'm ready for you to spin the block. Let's begin these negotiations, right? Because there's reports that Errol Spence could possibly face off against former unified welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, Keith one-time Thurman, okay? This is a fight that Errol Spence has been on record stating that he has no interest in fighting Keith Thurman, okay? He stated that he don't want to fight Keith Thurman. He don't like Keith Thurman. The PBC Premier Boxing Champion, founder and advisor Al Heyman, they have been pushing this Keith Thurman fight on Errol Spence for quite some time. And so now, once again, the WBC, World Boxing Council, President Mauricio Suleiman, board of 32 members, they decided that they was going to order Keith Thurman on Errol Spence, right? So Terence Crawford, he had this to say, quote, at Errol Spence, I'm ready when you want to split the block. Just giving you a heads up is all, right? And then he put the winking emoji, right? So he's letting them know he's ready to begin the negotiations, okay? Now, Errol Spence, he suffered a car accident, ironically, the same day Terence Crawford had his fight with David Avanesian, and he stated he suffered some minor injuries that pushed his initial announcement back, okay? Now, Errol Spence, he stated 4 days after the Terence Crawford fight, he was going to announce his fight, his next upcoming fight, which many people speculated was going to be Keith Thurman, okay? Keith Thurman has a record of 30 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout. He is 34 years of age, 5'8" with a 68, 69-inch arm reach, okay? And so with that said, Errol Spence stated that 4 days after, which means the 13th or the 14th, Errol Spence was going to announce his next fight, which he stated that could possibly was going to be in February or March, okay? Which, again, like I stated, it looked like it was going to be Keith Thurman, okay? And so with that said, Errol Spence said that he suffered some minor injuries and it pushed his return date back to May or June, okay? And so with that said, now since the fight got pushed back to May or June. Terence Crawford, he stated he's ready to get back in the ring April or May. Okay, and Errol Spence has no interest in fighting Keith Thurman. He's not going to fight against Amanda Stanionis, his WBA regular mandatory challenger. Okay, is he going to fight against IBF welterweight superstar title contender Jerron Boots Ennis, who's his mandatory for the IBF? Right. We know the WBC have been made aware, and they have petitioned the WBA and the IBF by TGB, Tom Brown Promotions, to allow Errol Spence to face off against his WBC mandatory, which is Keith Thurman. Well, it makes no sense if Errol Spence has no interest in fighting Keith Thurman, and Errol Spence is not going to fight till May or June. It makes no sense not to just go into negotiations with Terence Crawford now, because everybody's complaint is that, well, Terence Crawford avoided and ducked the Errol Spence fight, right? Which they let you know was going to happen in 2022. It was going to happen in 2023. So why Errol Spence waste his time? As everybody said, David Avanesian wasted everybody's time. Terence Crawford wasted everybody's time with David Avanesian fight. So why would Errol Spence waste the time now? Might as well go back. The foundation of the negotiations is already there, as they stated that they gave Terence Crawford a new contract with everything that he wanted in the contract, right? So why would they go into a fight with Keith Thurman that's not obviously signed, right? There's rumors that Keith Thurman could be fighting Cody Crowley. So let Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight, and Keith Thurman fight Cody Crowley. Everybody had an issue with Terence Crawford fighting December 10th against David Avanesian, when they wasn't going to fight until 2023 anyway. So why not just go ahead into the negotiation with Terence Crawford straight away and make the fight happen ASAP, okay, between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, April, May, or June, right? That just makes sense, okay? He stated that he's not going to fight Terence Crawford next. He's going to wait until later on in the year. Well, that just doesn't make sense, because if he's not looking to fight Keith Thurman, doesn't want to fight Keith Thurman, well, then unify the belts against Terence Boyd Crawford in the fight that everybody wants to see. And that's what Errol Spence wants to do anyway. And not to mention, Errol Spence stated that how tough it is to make the weight. So why wait nearly another full calendar year for Terence Crawford fight? Again, like I said, if they have the foundation and they already stated that they gave Terence Crawford everything that he wanted to make the fight happen, well, all you have to do now is just update the contract as far as the dates go, sign the contracts, and fight in May or June, right? They both will be ready and able and prepared to fight May or June, okay? So with that said, Terence Crawford, he lets the world know, and he lets Errol Spence know he's ready to begin the negotiations. Let's make it happen ASAP. Again, like I said, the PBC has been pushing this Keith Thurman fight for quite some time because it's an in-house fight. Apparently, Keith Thurman had been promised some fights. He stated that he's been promised the Errol Spence fight, and the WBC promised him that he would get an opportunity to regain his title that he won March of 2017 against two-division world champion Puerto Rican superstar boxer Danny Swift Garcia. But he never defended the title because he was stripped of the title, a nice way to put it, and he was out the ring till January of 2019. Then he lost the WBA title July of 2019 against Manny Pacquiao. So I don't know why Keith Thurman is owed anything, but nonetheless, they're stating that Keith Thurman is owed an opportunity. He was promised the opportunity, and so now Keith Thurman is going to get his opportunity. I don't mind the Errol Spence Keith Thurman fight. I think Errol Spence is going to stop Keith Thurman in under 7 rounds. I think his physicality, his southpaw stance, his fundamentals, his durability, and his high work rate is going to be too much for Keith Thurman, that has 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the sport of boxing, has a massive glaring weakness that he can't, absorb punches to the body. And that's Errol Spence's specialty. So he's going to stop Keith Thurman. But is this an indication that this is the fight they wanted to begin with? Who knows? But let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Well, that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue. Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. All one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDB. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.